Aloha, welcome to Choose Aloha. I'm Auntie Dawn.
And I'm Uncle Tony Silva of the Bradas.
And together, we're Choose Aloha champions with you. Here in Hawaii, we have many heroes, but do you know what they all have in common?
Try us. Show us a couple clues, some samples.
Okay, well, right off the top of my head, the world's most famous Hawaiian hero, King Kamehameha. United all the Hawaiian Islands in fierce fighting and strategy. He's so famous that they have a statue of him in the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C.
Boom! And so powerful. There's a video game that uses
Kamehameha Blast!
the boom to the room. Yeah, you Hawaiian, that's how you do. Karugan, Karugan.
Okay. Another Hawaiian hero is Queen Liliuokalani. She faced enemies who stole the kingdom of Hawaii, including the U.S. government, powerful businessmen, and Marines who held her at gunpoint. And she held her head high and championed her Hawaiian people no matter what.
I got one. Hawaiian brother, Duke Kahanamoku. Yup, ambassador of Aloha. The Duke shared surfing with the world. That's a hero right there. Living aloha and sharing aloha long before World Wide Web and surfing the net. He was surfing the whole wide world.
Nice. Now, what do they all have in common? Hint, it's the first part of our 4-part formula for Choose Aloha.
Got it. Courage.
Correct. All heroes have to have one thing, and that is courage. But courage is not just for heroes. In fact, we're starting with courage because so much of what we do every day takes courage.
Okay, let's first clearly define what it is. Courage is doing the right thing even when you're scared, right? Nervous or embarrassed. Or maybe you're just hesitating or afraid of the unknown.
Good. And when you make good choices, even when they're hard, that's courage. Big courage involves big risk, like overcoming pain or danger. Like King Kamehameha or Queen Liliuokalani, they risked their lives.
Smaller acts of courage help you overcome everyday challenges. Maybe it's speaking in front of the class, or raising your hand, or maybe it's solving conflicts, or saying something online that is unpopular.
Oh, can you think of a small act of courage, either in your own life or something you saw online or in the news?
While you're thinking, or maybe writing it down, let's give a few personal examples of everyday courage.
Or big courage?
Just a couple. Go. Okay, here we go. My son is courageous. He's going to college on his own. I really respect that. He's a young man.
And law enforcement officers are big courage. When everyone else is running out the room, they're running in. Much respect for our police departments all over the state of Hawaii, the United States, and the world.
Agreed. Hey, you have your own heroes? Lots of students say that their mom, dad is their hero, or maybe it's your auntie, uncle. You know, in Hawaii, ohana is a huge source of courage.
So true. It all comes down to this: choosing to do the right thing even when no one's watching, or choosing to be kind to someone who's not even in your social group. It takes courage to do those things, and you may not see it at first, but there are huge rewards.
Check this out. We're about to share some examples of courage. Put yourself in this person's shoes. How much courage do you think you need to do what they do?
Okay.
Here we go. First one, asking someone out on a date.
Okay, here's another one. Stepping up to take the penalty shot in the last second of the championship game. Oh! Mass courage.
I'll do it. Here's a good one. Asking a teacher for help. Oh.
Here's a hard one. Telling an adult you trust that you've been mistreated, maybe by another adult or someone you know at school.
Another hard one, Dawn. Standing up for someone who is being teased at school or even bullied.
Nice. It also takes courage, but how much to take your driver's test?
Saying aloha to a new student or a new neighbor.
Or similarly, sitting with somebody at lunch that always sits alone. You know, they all sound hard, but it's actually really simple. Be courageous. Here's a short video by the Choose Love founder Scarlett Lewis to explain our 4-part formula. An important note for you teachers, this video mentions a violent act. If you feel it may be too much for some of your students at this time, Please choose to start at the 51-second mark. Thanks and enjoy.
The formula for choosing love came from a message my 6-year-old son, Jesse Lewis, left on our kitchen chalkboard shortly before he died in the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary. Jesse wrote 3 words: nurturing, healing, love. I saw those words a few days after he died and knew that this was meant as a message of comfort for his family and friends, but also a message of inspiration for the world. This is where we needed to move towards in order to survive and thrive. I knew the young man that had perpetrated the violence was not able to give or receive love, and if he could, the tragedy would never have occurred. I have dedicated my life to spreading Jesse's message of nurturing, healing love to individuals all over the world through the Choose Love movement. The Choose Love movement started by asking individuals to consciously choose a loving thought over an angry thought. By choosing loving thoughts, you make yourself feel good, you positively impact those around you, and through the ripple effect, you make the world a better place. Nurturing, healing, love. Those 3 words are in the definition of compassion across all cultures. When you break down the meaning, nurturing means loving kindness and gratitude. Healing literally means forgiveness, and love is compassion in action. When you practice those 3 character values in that order, you are choosing love. It becomes a rope that you let down to yourself in the well of any situation, and you can use it to pull yourself out. The first thing you do is think of something you're grateful for, and there's always something to be grateful for. You can start with your breath, nature, and beautiful flowers. This gives you the strength to forgive. Forgiveness is not taught, and very few people understand what forgiveness really means. Forgiveness is a conscious choice, a decision to let go of anger and resentment. It does not mean that you forget. It does not mean that you condone what the other person did, and it does not mean that you can't hold that person accountable for their actions. It simply means that you take personal responsibility for your thoughts and feelings and release thoughts of anger and resentment. Compassion has 2 components. One is identifying what someone else is feeling. The second component is actively doing something to help or ease that pain. This is compassion in action. The first, empathetic component, can be painful and lights up the same centers in the brain as physical pain. The second component helps both the giver and the receiver. It's when the healer becomes the healed and cultivates connection and resilience. Courage is an overarching concept because it takes courage to choose love. It takes courage to be grateful, especially when things aren't going your way. It takes courage to forgive, especially when the person who hurt you isn't sorry. And it takes courage to step outside of your own universe of pain and help someone else. Thus, the formula for choosing love is courage plus gratitude plus forgiveness plus compassion in action equals choosing love. We all want to love and be loved. This is the common thread that connects us all. We can choose love for ourselves and others. Choosing love just may be the most important choice that you will make.
Lift you up if you let it in. Let the healing begin. So won't you turn it up and tune it in.
Now, before he died, Jesse left a message for his big brother that was later found in the bedroom. It said, "Have a lot of fun." Our hope is to inspire each of you this year and for us to have a lot of fun together.
I love it. So what? Now what?
So what now? What, chicka-choo?
It's time to make it real right now. Here's the question, and you might choose to write it out in your Choose Love journal, or your teacher will give you directions. Here we go. Here's the question. How do you feel after hearing about Jesse's final act of courage? Once again, how do you feel after hearing about Jesse's final act of courage? Wow.
That's it for now. Remember, you and I need courage on the daily, sometimes for great acts, like little Jesse Lewis, and sometimes It's a small act of courage that can make a huge difference.
So true. There's a great quote that says, "It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are." We both know that you really are a superhero.
Or super shiro.
In the making. Until next time, I'm Auntie Dawn.
And I'm Uncle Tony of the Brothers.
Keep choosing aloha, because aloha always wins. Aloha.